which are subjected to perhaps some considerable bias because, you picture a ground-based sensors, most of them are sitting at airports. When these things were being put in post-World War II, the bulk of them, 40s and 50s into the 60s, many of these airports were rural. They were, adjacent to small towns. They were surrounded by fields and farms, forests. What's happened is the urban area has encroached. When you create streets, pavement, buildings, all of this absorbs heat, right? And no one has really done an exhaustive study of the potential bias that's introduced into the ground-based sensors. That at least part of the warming of these ground-based sensors may have nothing to do with carbon dioxide at all. It may just have to do with the fact that they're sitting next to a huge parking lot, you see. And I mean, yourself, if you walk out, if you're walking in a field and then you walk onto a asphalt parking lot, immediately it's much, much hotter. You see, Anthony Watts, who's another one of the dissenters who's demonized, is the only one who has really attempted to exhaustively document the accuracy of the ground-based sensors. And what he's come up with is that perhaps as much as 30 to 50% of the perceived warming of the last century, which is about 0.8 of a degree centigrade, is probably as a result of that bias that's been introduced by what's called the urban heat island effect. And all of the major cities, LA has a urban heat island mitigation program underway. All of the major metropolitan cities are now trying to mitigate the effects of this heat because of all of the cement and the buildings and the pavement and the parking lots. They're always hotter than the surrounding rural areas. So the question has been legitimately raised: how much of a bias has been introduced into the ground-based sensors? Well, when we turn to the balloon sensors, the radiosonde balloon sensors and the satellite sensors, basically what they're showing is that the average global temperature has been flat for 15 years. Well, because of that, and many of the key scientists like Phil Jones of the IPCC has basically publicly admitted, when you look at the average temperature from that perspective, it hasn't warmed in 15. Now, there are regional pockets of warming and, records being set all the time because local conditions will affect change enormously. Just like I was talking about the urban heat island effect is a local or regional condition. But because of the fact that the climate hasn't warmed statistically significantly in 15 years,